for this course, you are going to have to be able to solve equations. Now, you want to remember a couple of things about this. You need to make sure that when you try to get rid of constants, or if you try to get rid of constants containing variables, you need to make sure that you do the opposite. So let's take a look at an equation. Let's say we had this one. Let's just look at this one. So this one has some variables in it. It has some constants in it. And what you want to do is every linear equation is you want to look at the left side and the right side, and you want to first make sure that you don't need to combine like terms. So in the left on this one, we only have things that have constants and we have some variables. We don't have anything that's alike, so we don't have other things that have x's on them or other numbers on that side that we can combine. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of this 3. And the way we get rid of it is we pick it up and move it to the other side. And in order to get rid of a -3, I need to have a +3. So when I move it, it's gone over here. And I have an 8 now on the right-hand side. The very last step in a linear equation is to always divide by the number sitting beside the variable on both sides. So we would get an x equals 4 for this one. And we could always check by going back up and plugging our answer in and just checking it out to see if it works. So that's something that I would encourage you to do. Sometimes they can be a little tricky. So let's look at one that has some parentheses in it. Let's take a look at this one. Now this one is a little tricky in that a lot of students want to deal with this first. They want to do 8 minus 3 and get a 5 there. But if you'll remember, you have something called the order of operations in math, and we had an acronym, probably at one point you had this, which was please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which meant that you do multiplication and division before addition and subtraction. So that means in this problem, when I look at the left and I look at the right, I'm going to need to deal with this number that's being multiplied before I can do any of my other math. It also means that this -3 needs to be multiplied. Now when I look at the left and the right, I see over here I do have some like terms that I can combine. And now I can start getting things together. So I could move this -6 over here, and when I move it, it becomes a +6x. It's gone over here. -3 plus 6 is +3. Now I can move the 2, and it's a -2 over here. Divide by the number sitting beside the variable. That's your last step. So my answer in this one would be 8/3. And you just want to make sure that you're following your order. You want to try to combine any like terms that you have. You want to follow the order of operations. You want to move things to get variables on one side, numbers on the other, and your very last step is going to be to divide. So you want to make sure that you can practice some of these problems and that you can solve linear equations.